Wait, Assad has...
Welcome to Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's EA Sports Supercross presented by Speed Stick. The world's best Supercross riders are here tonight for the final round in what has turned out to be a very historic season. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Ekman, and welcome to live coverage of EA Sports Supercross. We're going to get to the track for all of the action pretty soon, but first of all, let's check out a preview as to what to expect on tonight's show.
I'm David Bailey. Now, it's not enough that Carmichael has already wrapped up the Supercross title and that he has the #1 plate from McGrath. Tonight, he wants McGrath's record, set at 13 in a row back in '96. Ricky's got 12 in a row. This is the last round.
I'm Davey Coombs. To get that record, Carmichael's going to have to worry about a lot more than just McGrath. As we saw last week in Salt Lake City, a half-dozen guys could get up there and beat Ricky.
I'm Jamie Little. Ernesto Fonseca beat the best of the West, but can he beat Travis Pastrana? We'll have to find out tonight.
Hey, I'm Jeff Emming. I'm going to crash the booth and join David and Art tonight.
And I'm Robbie Floyd. I'll be in the pits tonight showing you everything going on behind the scenes, including this guy's new ride.
The sun is setting here at Las Vegas. A great crowd on hand. They're still filtering in from the pit area. David Bailey, this year's track doesn't leave the stadium like in years past.
No, and there was a lot of people going, man, it's not going to be as good. But I'll tell you what, from the moment I saw the track, I like the layout. It's excellent. There's the start, a little bit shorter. That first corner is going to get interesting, but this next straightaway, there's just jumps all the way down the straightaway. If you do it right, you can triple through there 4 times. But I've seen guys mess up. Even Ricky Carmichael has made mistakes through there. There is a big triple right there. Another one over here. But this long whoop section leading up to the finish line, I always like it there because if you got a last-ditch effort, that's a great place to make it all happen. Then this sweeper, as they complete a lap, most of the riders are going there. Some guys, I think, later on in the night are going to pull right in there for the block pass.
The top 9 riders from each 125 qualifying heat qualify directly to the main event. The rest go to the LCQ, where the top 4 advance to the race to fill out that 125 shootout gate. Dave Coombs Sr. was a champion of the young riders. It was his thought back in 1985 that this class should take place to gain these people more experience before banging bars with the big boys in the 250 class. You saw Travis Pastrana. There's Nathan Ramsey, the runner-up in the 125 East Division to Pastrana. Michael Brown also was competitive throughout the season after coming back from a couple of seasons on the motocross circuits in Europe. The GP class, where he placed 3rd the 2 years he raced for Honda of Britain. So we're at the gate getting ready for our first qualifying heat, David Bailey. Lots of excitement here in Las Vegas.
Well, what I like so much about it is that as you look at this gate, normally you've got a heat race and there's about 3 or 4 real heavy hitters in there. This is a main event, basically. You got Pastrana, Ramsey, Brown, Way. I mean, that right there is a fight. Then you go back in, you got guys like Kelly Smith, Sellards, Gosseler. I mean, this is incredible. The fact that they're going to have to weed this pack out and go up against the West could be better than the 250 class.
There's a problem with Christopher Gosseler's bike. Let's go down to Davey Coombs.
Well, Art, you hit it right on the head. Chris Gosseler, they have a little problem with the fast by Faraci Husqvarna. They're trying to change the spark plug. They have to hold up the start for a minimum of 2 minutes, actually a maximum. They'll give them 2 minutes to get on the starting gate. Otherwise, straight to the LCQ for Gosseler.
That's not a good feeling. As a matter of fact, the first ride I ever had when I signed with Honda, it wasn't a big race, but just it was down in the Florida Series. That's what happened to me, and that's when they first went to water cooling. So the radiator in there and the shroud that covers all that makes it difficult to reach. Luckily, the bike's not really hot yet, or he'd be in there burning his fingers.
30-second board waits. And all the riders are looking over at the Husqvarna to see if he's about ready to go. Pastrana won this 125 East Division by 8 points over Nathan Ramsey. It looks like 51 moved into the gate area now.
Number 51, Gosler, let's keep an eye on him out of the start, because you know his nerves had to be racing, and that's happened to me before, a disaster right before the start. One time I forgot my goggles, realized it when it was time to put them on. I was so flustered from having somebody run to get them, whether I'd have them in time. I ended up getting the whole shot.
Gosler's capable of getting a good start. But you really look to number 1E, number 1 in the East Division. Mike Brown, number 100 now. The board is sideways from 5 to 10 seconds. The gate will drop. And the Dave Coombs Sr. 125 shootout is underway. Kelly Smith, number 35 on the KTM. And then Pastrana's right there with him. And Gosler's in third, battling it out for second place.
And you can see already that tough rhythm section all the way down the front straightaway there. That's difficult on the first lap because guys are jumping all through their different ways. It's real scary when you're in a pack that thick.
So Pastrana now has taken over the lead. He's a money player. Last year, he got edged out for the 125 East title and still walked away with a banner year winning this 125 shootout here in Vegas.
And what these guys are struggling with right now is they haven't ridden the track. It's been a little while since they were out there in the practice session. They put some water on it, and these guys are the first ones on there. Travis finding out some of those slippery spots where the water hasn't dried all the way.
Real battle is shaping up now for second place. Kelly Smith is in there, but look at Mike Brown, number 100 in the pro circuit, Kawasaki. He makes the move out in front as they complete the first lap of our qualifying heat. Pastrana just simply pulls away as Mike Brown moves into second. And look out, here comes Fonseca next.
Actually, Nathan Ramsey, number 28 on the four-stroke, riding the same bike as Fonseca.
So it's Pastrana, Brown, Smith, Ramsey, Way, Gosler, Elliott, Sellards, Riddle, and Hoffmaster.
Look at down that straightaway. These guys don't even have Pastrana in sight anymore. But now the guys that are in second and third are the kind of riders that can chase him down, but they got a lot of ground to make up. I have a feeling even if they ride the best they can, all they're going to do is match Travis's pace out front, so unless he makes a big mistake, he should be gone.
Pastrana with a 4-second lead already in our opening qualifying heat.
I wasn't that impressed with him this afternoon in practice, and part of the reason was each time they went out there, he was the first practice session to touch the track after they'd watered it, so he really was unable to establish any kind of a rhythm, but he's got it going now.
Mike Brown, there's Kelly Smith, along with number 23, Nicholas Way, out of the state of Michigan.
See that Nick Way has a real opportunity to get in there and make a block pass. A lot of the corners here on this track, this one too, coming in this right-hander, Nick could go in there on the inside, put a block pass if he's a little closer. He's trying to be safe right here, just get to that main event.
So the only battles right now for contention are for second place and then for fourth. And this is the fourth place. Nick Way trying to challenge Kelly Smith, going to the inside. But Kelly Smith has good acceleration with that KTM.
Got a pretty good line. Nick Way reaching up to clear his vision through that whoop section. That's where he can really make up a lot of time. He gets a good drive right there, but Kelly recovers. I'm impressed with Smith.
I'm also impressed with number 51, Gosler, after getting the new spark plug.
Well, I know he's fast. No question about that. See him cut across the inside right here. Not quite as fast of a line, but if you're close to somebody, it's a great place to put on a pass.
There's our leader, Travis Pastrana, on the upper right, leading by 3.9 seconds.
And his lap time's just underneath the 53-second barrier, 52.8. His last lap, his best lap of 52.5. And the next closest rider is Brown and Ramsey. Those guys running 53.1, so a little bit slower. I don't see those guys able to catch him. I mean, Travis really has risen to the occasion here in this heat race. I thought he looked terrible in practice, but he's recovered well.
Number 35, Kelly Smith, is the only holdover for the new KTM team from last year. He got the whole shot, led 6 laps, and scored his only podium at third at St. Louis. As we go to the battle for second place now, Mike Brown with a little cushion on Nathan Ramsey. Ramsey won in 1999 the 125 West Championship. Even though he had an excellent year this year, he was unable to pick off the championship against Travis Pastrana in the East.
Well, Brown cannot relax at all. Ramsey is right there. He's got a couple of places where he can do a little bit different timing than Brown out front. The rest of the track, he's just trying to stay as close as he can, get into a good rhythm, think about what he's going to need to do in terms of the bike setup, which tire choice is going to be the best. Look at the run he has here.
Here comes Ramsey. Ramsey cuts in, and Brown now reestablishes the lead. White flag lap, final lap.
Now watch the difference. See, Brown has to go across that inside and protect that line. Now watch the difference in timing right here. If Ramsey can triple all the way through, he should be able to pass him. There he goes.
Ramsey. They rub plastic, and Ramsey secures the spot in third.
That wasn't a dirty move. It was just an aggressive one going, you know, if I turn too sharp and I'm too nice here, Brown will get me back. So we wanted to make sure that pass was made.
Ramsey moving from third to second when passing Brown. Brown had a win here back in 1995 at the 125 East before it was a 125 shootout. Here's our leader, Travis Pastrana. Boy, he likes to win the big ones, doesn't he? This is our first qualifying heat for the 125 shootout. Does the knack-knack as he comes across, taking the checkered flag. So Travis Pastrana now with his 7th heat win on the year.
Watch this. Nathan Ramsey coming into the inside. He's got the line. He just doesn't give Brown any room. Brown's the kind of guy, if he's just a little bit too nice right there, he'll ride right back around. He already did it once. Ramsey wanted to make sure he got that second place and a better gate pick for the main event.
Yes.
So Pastrana has taken the first qualifying heat here in Las Vegas. There he is up on the victory podium. Let's go to Davey Combs.
Well, Travis, for a guy who didn't get a lot of good laps in practice today, man, you were flying.
Hey, thanks a lot. Still a little shaky. I mean, we got my Suzuki dialed in perfect. Got out there to a great start, but still struggling a little bit with the track. Well, interesting to see what the Fonseca can do in the next one, but it should be a great event.
Well, it looks like you got the 125 East guys handles. That was Ramsey and Brown behind you, but you don't know about these other guys.
Have no idea, but you never have anybody handled. You never know what people are holding back, or, you know, still struggling a little bit, but I know I'll be 100% for the main. My Michelin's hooking up great. Suzuki, thank you everybody for watching.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
Check out the results page after checking out an excited Travis Pastrana, who won the qualifying heat. Nathan Ramsey, Michael Brown, Kelly Smith, Brock Sellards on a KTM in the top 5. Remember, the top 9 graduate to the main event, so it's Gossler, Way, Elliott, and Hadsel also making the main event, with Ben Riddle and the rest of the field going to the LCQ. These Las Vegas fans also will get to see that U.S. Open in it. I'm telling you, it's quite an event here in Las Vegas, the MGM Grand Garden Arena, October 12th, 13th, and 14th, and tickets are available now through Ticketmaster. The crowd anxiously awaits our second heat now, which will consist of the 125 West riders. And once again, you've got a main event situation here, David.
Yeah, you know what, always the way it was for me anyway, when I had to sit on the starting line and watch another heat and see somebody like Travis go out there and turn 52-second lap times. No one was able to come close to that. And just do tricks on the last lap, knack his way over the finish line jump, look full of energy, no mistakes. If I'm Fonseca, I'm going, well, it's going to be tough to beat. It makes you a little bit more nervous than if you're in the first heat.
Ernesto just off winning the 125 West last week in Salt Lake City, becoming the first rider to ever win a 125 title in the East and the West, as he won 5 of the 8 events in the division this year. Let's go down to Robbie Floyd.
Well, I'm down here with Nathan Ramsey. Nathan, great pass out there. It's really slippery. Maybe a tire change tonight. I know it might change throughout the night.
You know what? My Dunlops are hooking up really good out there, so I'm going to stick with what I got. I was just being a little anxious. It was a little bit wet right there in that first race. So, you know, it's really tight. It's hard to pass, and without making an aggressive move, you know, that's kind of what you have to do. So I'm going to go out there, try to get the best start I can, because I think that's super important. And I'm just going to ride hard for 15 laps, and I think that my Yamaha Troy Fox bike will do good.
I think he's ready to prove a point. Back up to you guys.
You think Nathan Ramsey was giving us a little preview that there might be some bar banging here tonight?
I know that's going to be the case, and we might see it all right in the first turn to start things off, but definitely to get around, you're going to have to get aggressive, because these guys are all so equal.
Down to the 125 West, our favorite, of course, is Ernesto Fonseca, but he's got a teammate on a 2-stroke. Justin Buckaloo right there, number 38. Roderick Taine out of France, number 32, is also in there, as is Grant Langston, number 111. Last year, winning the 125 GP Motocross Championship in that worldwide tour out of Europe, and then coming right to America to get into the Supercross scene. The 30-second board is up for our second qualifying heat here from Las Vegas. It is sideways. We're almost set to go. Ivan Tedesco also in this field, along with Travis Preston, David Pingree, Greg Schnell, and we're off and running. 2 KTMs out in front. It's Pingree 46, 111 Grant Langston.
Fonseca just to the left of your picture, trying to work his way into things, and he got pinched off right away. He's ahead of his teammate Buckaloo. But Langston and Pingree have been getting the starts lately. These guys have got it dialed as KTMs are hooking up off the gate. It took Pingree a little while to get used to that. He said he kept wheeling in. It was hard to figure out the clutch, the type of play that it had, but he's got it figured out now.
KTM was struggling a bit. Here comes Grant Langston as he triples over David Pingree. Pingree riding with very sore ribs. Had to pull out of the last race in Salt Lake City. As Grant Langston now just simply takes off. This young man is probably the most improved rider of the 125 ranks. Grant Langston, our leader.
He is, and you know, I don't know so much if it's that he's improved that much or we just didn't give him that much credit in the first place, but the guy, boy, Pingree almost going down right there. That Langston has really got it figured out. If he adapts to the outdoor tracks here in the U.S. coming up next weekend, as fast as he did Supercross, these guys, we may see a world champion come over here in his first try and win the national championship.
Ernesto Fonseca with not a very good start, back in 7th position.
He's right behind Tedesco. There he is. Jumping all the way over that little bump there. He's making up some time there, but oh, slippery section right there. And what makes that so difficult to read is they got a lot of sand right there in between those two jumps. These guys are spraying it out over the top of what normally would look slippery. He didn't notice it and washed out.
So a surprise right off the bat here in qualifying. Ernesto Fonseca, the champion, goes down on the track. Another look.
To the front wheel, he lost it. As soon as he tried to lean into that corner, the front wheel just hit a little nub right there. It was like ice. As soon as he went over that bump, front wheel washed right out, and that's just going to ruin his chase. There's no way he can come back from the laps that are left and win this heat race. So Travis right away has a big advantage heading into the main event versus the East and West champions.
Grant Langston, coming into his first Supercross season, let alone his first season in America, has progressed remarkably fast. He was 19th in the first race this year. Had 2 podiums in mid-season, a 3rd at Anaheim 2, a 2nd at Phoenix. And then he led the entire race at Houston, only to lose focus and crash on the last lap. He was in tears after that. He knew he had it wrapped up, and then he came back and won in Irving, Texas, the very first KTM 125 Supercross victory in America.
He looks good right now. There's the mechanic telling him just flow, just relax. He's got a big lead now. Pretty good battle for second going on behind him, which helps him pull away because you see Pingree right here and Travis Preston. There goes Preston. They've been block passing each other a little bit and holding up the pace. And that's what makes the lead by Langston look so big.
So Preston making the move.
Preston's going fast through the whoops, just like when he won in Houston. We'll get around to that. If he gets a little bit closer to Langston out front, I think that's going to inspire him to just pin it through those things and really try to make up some time. And we talked about Fonseca being way back in the pack. So is his teammate Buckaloo, 16th. Just saw him go by trying to bend his levers back straight, so he must have gone down somewhere. Not a good heat race for the Yamaha Troy guys here.
Travis Preston, number 40, was the 3rd different winner of the 125 West this year, with Husqvarna's very first 125 Supercross win. That was in Houston after Langston went down.
The track is improving right now. You see Kane starting to join this battle up front. He's got Tedesco right behind him. Fonseca, who was right there, has worked his way back up to this battle.
Here comes Tane in that rhythm section. Hold on, Pingree. Fonseca, 8.7 seconds behind Grant Langston, who you see up in the upper right. Pingree and Tane still battling it out. Langston, Preston, Pingree, and Tane, the top 4, with Ivan Tedesco in the top 5.
Well, check this out. The lap times of Langston out front, 52.4, a tenth faster than Travis in that first heat. The track is getting a little bit better now, a little bit more broke in, not as slick, but still, that's fast. I didn't think Langston had it, but he is on his game right now and ready to take it to Travis Pastrana. Last time these guys squared off at the Motocross of the Nations, Langston was pretty tough.
White flag is out, the final lap. Let's check in with Davey Coombs trackside.
Well, David, you were asking about what might have happened to Justin Buckaloo. He has no damage to the bike, but he fell on the slick stuff. His gloves are muddy. He's having a hard time holding on the bike. It looked for a second there like he was going to try and pull the glove off. He's just going to finish out and head to the last chance.
There he is right there. His teammate Fonseca is doing much better. He is all the way back. He got around Pingree, Langston's teammate.
Langston, 111, dominating the second qualifying heat. It'll be interesting to see what kind of times he has compared with Pastrana's winning time in the opening heat.
It's going to be close. Maybe a little bit faster, but the track is improving.
The checkered flag comes out for Grant Langston from South Africa.
3 seconds faster, and Fonseca climbs all the way back
to 5th spot. So he qualifies in 5th.
He'll be frustrated.
Up to 4th. Check the official scoring.
He will be frustrated, Art. You can see it right now. He's like, man, if I could just get a start and not make these mistakes, but he's fast. So I wouldn't look at that qualifying position compared to the guys in the first heat and think that Fonseca's out of this. It's going to be a battle, but there's more riders in there than I thought.
Grant Langston putting on the hat and the goggles as he makes his way up to the victory podium. It's been quite an improvement, a great year for this young man. Let's go down to Davey Coombs on the podium.
Well, Grant, we're trying to figure out if you're the most improved 125 Supercross rider we've ever seen, or if you just had a really bad first night.
Well, I think a bit of both. I mean, the first night didn't go as good as I expected, and you know, slowly the season's gone. I've steadily improved, and bike's working great. KTM Red Bull done a great job. Michelin tires, everyone done such an excellent job to get me up where I am. It's a whole team effort, and without them, I don't think I'd be here.
As for the shootout, you've raced with Travis Pastrana before, the Motocross Destinations last year. You beat him there. Can you beat him in a Supercross race?
Well, Travis is really going well. I was watching him there. He's really fast, and you know, he's pretty much dominated the East Coast, so he's going to be a real difficult guy to beat, but I really hope I can beat him. I'd love to do it tonight.
Good luck in the main, Grant.
Thanks very much.
He didn't seem too winded at all, David Bailey, as we take a look at the results here in our second qualifying heat. Grant Langston taking the checkers with Travis Preston on the Husqvarna. An impressive performance. Roderick Tane on the Suzuki. Ernesto Fonseca. Pingree. The two Johnsons, Keith and Kevin, their brothers, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Ivan Tedesco, who's had some impressive rides this year, including a second place at Salt Lake. Greg Schnell, the final qualifier. Eric Vallejo, and others going to the last chance qualifier. Let's go down to Robbie Floyd.
Well, guys, we're going to be seeing Heath Voss here in a little bit in the 250 qualifiers, but something a little different. He's not on his normal ride. It's staying back here on the pits. That's because he's going to be riding the 4-stroke, the one we've been all hearing about. Ryan Hughes has been testing it. We get to see it in action live for the first time here tonight. And, you know, he said he actually had to tame it down a little bit this week, change the power curve on the ignition. He says that thing doesn't want to do triples. It wants to do quads out there. So it's going to be a wild ride for him. But I think he's really enjoying being put in that spotlight out here tonight. And I'm looking forward to Heath, you know, showing what that 4-stroke has to offer.
Well, he hasn't had much time on the bike, but it is exciting. The premier, the American premier Supercross-wise for the new Honda 4-stroke. As we take a look at the race format, top 4 riders in the 250s advance to the main event out of the 2 qualifying heats. The rest head to the semifinals where the top 5 graduate. The final 2 spots at the 20-rider gate come out of the last chance qualifier. Here's how the point situation is going into our final round of 250 action. Carmichael, 61 points, is already the titleist, as you can gain a maximum of 25 points for first place in each Supercross race. There you see Larocco pretty alone there in 3rd place, with Flusk and Wyndham rounding out the top 5. Mike Larocco, I expect him to do well in this particular situation. There you see him on the Honda, the Amsoil Honda number 5, right next to Jeremy McGrath.
Jeremy just to the inside. Every time these guys start together, it seems like Larocco beats them off the line. Over to the inside, they've got Tim Ferry on that 4-stroke Yamaha. Just to his inside is right there, that elbow. That's David Villeman, who returned to action last week.
And they're revving up, ready to go for the first qualifying heat of the 250s underway. McGrath with a great start. Ferry goes down in a big log jam, including Villeman and several other riders.
You see number 13. I think I'd change that number if I were Tortelli. He's easy to pick out tonight because he's all in black. Glad that this race doesn't happen during the day because he would have been dying of the heat.
The Mummy returns, and we'll explain that a little later, as Jeremy McGrath is out in front of Mike Larocco right now. Jason McCormick, the privateer out of the state of Washington, in 3rd. Jason McCormick was an Ironman in Salt Lake City last week, qualifying for both the 125 and the 250 division.
These guys are going to have a tough time catching McGrath out front. There's Larocco in 2nd, trying to chase him down. He just lost some time to McGrath, already coming out of that corner. Jeremy in this opening lap has just been flawless, Art.
Mike Larocco re-upping with Honda and his team, Amsoil Honda. for a 2-year stint. As we take a look now at 934, David Villemin. Villemin, difficult year for this young Frenchman, who last year was second in points to Jeremy McGrath in the championship chase.
Well, I think he just felt like the year he had last year, he should be able to go through the offseason and step up his training and riding intensity just a little bit, come into this season and really rock, but he got rocked at the first round. I think that really dinged his confidence. Then at the next round, the very first practice session in San Diego, he broke some ribs, and it's been downhill ever since. But last week...
Yes, great comeback.
I was pretty impressed. He was matching LaRocco's pace all the way through the pack. Here he goes around McCormick. Maybe.
In the whoops, McCormick with the edge, but look at the great turn by Villemin as he goes over the finish line jump. Wonderful move by David Villemin. He's coming off the injured list. This is his first race last week, it was, since getting his broken collarbone at Minneapolis.
McGrath has been unbelievable. Look at his timing. Look at the confidence he has. Just setting the bike right where he wants it to be. Watch him double this. A little seat bounce right there to compress the suspension, get the rebound. This is the approach to the next triple. You can tell when Jeremy's riding comfortably and the bike's working, he has a certain style, a certain posture and confidence to him. Look at how still his body is to that whoop section. I mean, he's gone through there faster than anyone has so far tonight. It looks the easiest.
Well, he was able to take the opportunity of a very rough start here in our first qualifying heat for the 250s.
Yeah, look at this.
Another look.
Jeremy gets a great jump. You can tell right away. Watch him shift with his heel. He doesn't have time to put his foot on the peg. He leans in on Ferry, and no way. Ferry looked like Jeremy almost got shoved to the outside, but he had the strength to hang on. LaRocco jumps out of that. But right here you got the number 13 of Tortelli. See Ferry wash out right away. Villemin right there, nothing he could do. Check it out from on board with Tortelli. You got to have a good look for us. You see his helmet camera right there.
Here's the start for Tortelli.
Now where are you going to go right there? He had nothing, just a full traffic jam.
Let's go down to Davey Combs. Davey.
Well, one thing that might have been helping Jeremy to that hole shot, Art, he is out there riding this weekend with an FMF pipe. Jeremy's been with Pro Circuit for just about forever, but he wanted to try something new for the last race. He's got an FMF exhaust system on for the first time.
Look at his timing on that straightaway. Triples all the way through there, all the way into the corner. His last lap, 49.5. That's the fastest lap yet tonight. LaRocco in second, 50.3. That's not going to get it done.
LaRocco in second place, but David Villemin is starting to inch up on him right here. We might have a battle for second place. Villemin is very well timed on this course.
See, he just did that double right there behind LaRocco, but he wasn't able to get to the inside the way McGrath is out front. So even though he jumped it, he didn't really make up the time. Watch the whoops.
Here comes Villemin, but LaRocco gets his way through that whoop section. LaRocco is amazing when you consider this is the third decade he has raced 250s in. It's his 177th 250 Supercross start if he makes the main, and right now he's in second place in this qualifier. Top 4 get the transfer to the main event.
Well, now he's getting a real battle, a little taste of his own medicine. He's always the guy coming through the pack, putting the pressure on, but Villemin is really riding well, Art. I mean, it's the confidence he gained from last week in the same situation, chasing LaRocco up through the pack. He's able to study him. Now watch, see if he goes for this double again. Now LaRocco's doing it. Through the air, he slides forward, puts his foot out so he gets the corner made a little quicker, but they're still not catching McGrath. Almost a 6-second lead for him.
McGrath issuing the statement that, Ricky Carmichael, if you're going to tie my season records, you're going to have to earn it here tonight. By the bar! And LaRocco tries to get the advantage. Here they come over the finish line jump. LaRocco really holding on. Now, you might remember last year here in the Vance Triple Crown, these two really got into it. Villemin needed the win to win $100,000, $500,000, $500,000.
Hey, when
LaRocco rode him off the track.
When you get to that many zeros, who cares? I'd be happy with 100. Yeah, that was, these guys got something to prove to each other. Villemin does not want to let LaRocco get ahead of him again in this, and LaRocco's going, hey, stay back there. He didn't deserve it last year. You don't deserve it this year. But he's got to ride perfect because Villemin is all over him.
Of course, no one can win the $500,000 this year, the Vance Triple Crown, simply because McGrath won the first round in Anaheim, and Carmichael came back to win the second round. But there's $25,000 at stake for the high point man in those 3 races. White flag is out. It's the final lap.
And you can see that on the board, 50.5. McGrath still hovering around that 49-second mark, so he's still getting away from these guys. Less mistakes, a little bit aggressive, more aggressive here and there. This is coming into the sand pit. He overjumped that a little bit. That's the first mistake I've seen. He still gets over that double, no problem, right to the inside. But he just looks good. You can tell when McGrath is on. There's the knack-knack. He's feeling it.
Jeremy McGrath, he might have come in second this year to Ricky Carmichael, but he had a good year. The 7-time former champion, 2 wins, 10 podiums in the 15 rounds. The checkers are out. The checkers are flying for Jeremy McGrath. The flashbulbs popping. Jeremy takes the heat win with Mike LaRocco holding off number 934, David Villeman on the Yamaha. Great race for second place, and the 2 riders acknowledging each other. Look at David Villeman. He pointed back to LaRocco saying, good race.
Yeah, thumbs up. I didn't think I would see that. He was real frustrated last year, but I think he's having fun. I mean, he didn't ride the whole series. Nothing's really at stake here. He's just getting tuned up for the outdoor season next week.
For the comments from Jeremy McGrath, let's go to Davey.
Well, Jeremy, this is your last chance to beat Ricky Carmichael this year. If you ride the main event like you did that heat race, wow, he's going to be in trouble.
Well, I hope so, Davey. You know, I got to thank Skip and Yamaha and most of the Yamaha team. We spent a lot of hours this week working on the bike, and we kind of been chasing our tail a little bit, and I think hopefully tonight I can show that we made some progress this week, and I would like to stop that streak for sure.
Right now, the score is 13-12. Is that the most important thing to you right now, is just keeping up for that record?
Honestly, I mean, records are records, and yeah, I'm stoked I have the record. I'm not stoked that he's going to try and beat it. But honestly, I got to get back to winning races, and that's what it's all about, and it's been a while, so I'm ready for one.
Good start so far tonight, Jerry.
All right, thanks.
McGrath won it. Tim Ferry, who had his best finish of the year at second place last week, did not. We'll have to go to the semifinal round. McGrath, LaRocco, Villeman, and Tortelli. Sebastian Tortelli coming back from that wreck in the first turn to qualify for the main event. Let's go to Robbie Floyd now. Robbie?
Well, guys, you know I'm a big MC fan out there. He's won here the past 2 years. He's got to be the favorite. That guy is such a winner. He's winning so much, I've even got to wear some T-shirts by MC out there. You can check all this stuff out at PaceSupercross.com. You can also find out who the leaders are in, the race while you're watching it. Just check it out on the internet at PaceSupercross.com. One thing you won't be seeing out there, MC's out in front, but his arch rival, Ezra Lusk, is not going to be out there tonight. He had a hard fall earlier in the week. They say he might have some broken ribs. It's a tough, battle for Yogi, but he's looking for that National Series. We're not going to be seeing him out there tonight, and I know for one, I've been looking forward to it after watching him at Salt Lake and Dallas the past few weeks.
Robbie, that was a bad break, that crash in practice, David Bailey, because toward the end of the season here, he's looked like the only rider looking like he believes that RC can be beaten.
Yeah, and he did beat him twice in his heat race, but you know what I'm noticing here? Is when you got something working for you, don't mess with it. But Ricky's obviously confident enough. See that outfit? That looks like something brand new. I haven't seen it before. Maybe that's Fox's next year's stuff. But Ricky, I thought, was just going to stay with that all-orange outfit. That's the outfit he's worn through this entire streak, all 12 race wins. And he's changing his outfit here at the final round. And I don't know. I don't know if I would have the nerve to change right now.
Kevin Windham, there's Heath Voss on the new Honda 4-stroke. Well, he's been superstitious in the past. He's never really liked changing anything on the bike once he gets it set during the season either.
Well, this is, they're trying to market number 4 and show off the new duds, and they look good, but I don't know. I think I would want to stick with what's been working. This is a lot at stake, 13 in a row.
32nd board is up for Ricky Carmichael, Kevin Windham, Stefan Rodkata, Michael Byrne out of Australia, Heath Voss, the veteran privateer, Kyle Lewis, Michael Craig, another veteran privateer, and we're ready to go now for the second qualifying heat of the 250s. Voss on the 4-stroke. As Ricky Carmichael had the inside on the turn, Voss went to the outside and powered by him.
Well, I questioned Honda coming out here with that 4-stroke and debuting it, and Voss has only ridden the thing a couple of times. They wanted to get Lusk or Tortelli to ride it. They weren't really that comfortable. Lusk, of course, can't even ride. But how's that for a first showing? They've only raced this bike twice. Once in Japan, Tortelli won that. A couple of weeks ago, Ryan Hughes took it to the 4-stroke championship. So it's undefeated so far, but now he's got Carmichael in his rearview mirror. That ought to make him nervous.
Carmichael making the pass with a nice clean block pass on Stefan Roncada. Teammates at Team Kawasaki. Roncada taking a second place in the shootout here last year. This is his first full 250 season. Carmichael rips off the tearaway as he pursues Heath Voss. Voss getting a tremendous opportunity here in American Supercross.
Carmichael might have needed to save all those tearaways, Art, because that 450F Honda is going to shoot a pretty big roost back there and get him make it even difficult for him, more difficult for him to see.
Voss's best performance last year as a privateer on a two-stroke was right here in Las Vegas. In fact, it was the top privateer performance of the entire season as he took an 8th place finish in Las Vegas. But right now, he's qualifying for a great gate position with Ricky Carmichael, the already crowned champion, right behind him. Here comes Carmichael to launch. Goodbye. He just blitzed by him.
Well, that's what he's been doing all year. It doesn't mean that 4-stroke doesn't hook up better through there. It's just that Carmichael has just been on a roll. You can't stop this guy, and when it comes time to really just going through a section with a lot of strength and nerve and the roll that he's been on this year, he's going to pass you there, especially a guy like Voss, who's not necessarily a top 3 or 5 guy, but a top 10 guy for sure. That's just not good enough to get it done against Carmichael, though.
Well, this is a good test of that machine, however, as Voss, as we mentioned prior, has not had a great deal of time on the Honda 4-stroke, number 26.
I think they would really like to see Ryan Hughes ride it after his success in that 4-stroke championship, but it just doesn't make sense for Ryan to just step into the last race of the year. I mean, it's a real interruption in his plan to come into the outdoor series really strong and remain a little bit of a mystery. All I hear is how fast Ryan is. Every time he tests with Tortelli or Lusk, he's a couple seconds a lap faster. He says he loves the bike, has a lot more time on it. He doesn't want to ruin his chances of making a good showing next week.
Here's the new here's the new 250 champion, number 4, Ricky Carmichael in the lead now. He's won 12 in a row, 13 total in 15 rounds. Let's take another look at the pass, David.
Carmichael just getting aggressive through the whoops. Voss right down the middle. Hits a couple with the front wheel, slows his momentum. Look at Ricky, just pinned. Make sure he steers clear of Voss so he doesn't have to change his line halfway through that whoop section, which would be pretty tough to do. No problem down to the inside. He positioned himself to the right, so once he got ahead of him, even if he just got even, he'd be in there for the block pass. Now he's moved all the way back over to the left, which is a section of that whoop section he likes a little bit better.
Those fans who have seen telecasts in the past, well, we'll go now to Stefan Roncada. As Roncada has taken over second place, Heath Voss still in qualifying position at 3rd and with a good lead on Kevin Windham. But does he have enough time?
That's the section right there where Voss is really struggling. Carmichael tripling his way all the way through there. Roncada that time getting through that a little bit better timing. Still a good showing for Voss, though. I mean, just to put that thing in the main event, he's still ahead of Windham. He's in a tough heat race right here, and for a debut, for a guy that hasn't ridden that bike very much, I'm impressed. He's obviously got the power. Carmichael is so light, he's just like a flag on that 250. He's been getting most of the hole shots this year, and Voss smoked him to the first corner.
Voss goes to that semifinal round quite a bit as he's won 4 semifinals this year, but he has made it out of the qualifying heat a couple of times to the main event this year.
That first heat race, fastest lap by McGrath at 49.3. Carmichael hasn't matched that yet at 49.6. That last lap, 50 seconds.
Let's go to Davey.
Well, guys, you were talking about Heath Voss. Let me tell you something about his afternoon. To be thrust into the role of American Honda factory rider just blow most people's minds. Heath decided to stay in his own camper. Rather than sit next to Ezra Lusk and Sebastian Tortelli and sign autographs, he went over and stayed in the privateer section. Heath Voss just trying to keep it real, even on that Sierra 450R.
Well, he's got a great desire to race. He loves to race. No question. As he works on his own bike, he drives his own van at times. Here comes Kevin Windham, number 14 of the Team Suzuki. He's testing Heath Voss right now as we have less than 2 laps to go.
It's hot out here. It's dry. Everyone's mouth is dry. And right about now, or maybe even a couple laps ago, these guys really start to feel that. Fatigue is going to be a big problem tonight. Voss is pretty tough. if he gets another start like that, sure, there's going to be 3 or 4 guys that are able to work their way around, but he can still stay up in there for a good finish. I think last year here was the best finish he'd ever had at that point.
Carmichael making his way through the lappers has the big lead. Voss still holding off Wyndham for 3rd place. This is the only battle left.
I think Wyndham was just patient, going, okay, let me just get close. When we get to that whoop section again, that'll be that.
Good momentum. Can he hold it? Can he pin it? Voss takes advantage of it.
You know what I like about Voss? He's pretty sharp. He's going to get the white flag. He's just got to hold him off one more time. But he moved over to the right, going, okay, well, Wyndham is faster. He's going to have to ride around the outside of me. He's taking all the right lines to keep Kevin back there.
Looked like they were touching some plastic as he heads into a very strong part of the course for him. It's a rhythm section. Here comes Wyndham. Not quite enough to make the block pass on Heath Voss.
His heart must be pounding, going, okay, here comes the whoops. Get the right line, get a good run out of the corner. He should be able to hold Kevin off. It's the only place I can see left for Kevin to make the pass.
Checkered flag for Ricky Carmichael. The battle now as Roncada takes 2nd. Here's the battle for 3rd. Wyndham got him in the ropes, but Voss will likely qualify holding on to 4th. So Voss twice before has qualified for the main event out of qualifying on the 2-stroke, placing 4th in the heat. He takes the 4-stroke to 4th place here and gets the transfer.
Good charge by Wyndham there to stay in it. Improves his position to the gate. And I'll tell you what, that last lap was Ricky's best, 49.4. Still not as fast as Jeremy's in the 1st heat. So McGrath is on his game tonight. His heat race was also 1 second faster than Ricky's.
Davey is with our winner.
Well, Ricky, we just watched Jeremy McGrath go out and put in a pretty good ride. You came back out and you answered right away.
Yeah, I feel good. The Kawasaki's running excellent tonight. Got a great start. I tell you, that was good for me. Heath Voss got around me on the outside, but I don't want to let that happen in the main event.
You have that 13th win on the line, but I got to ask you, you changed your clothes after all those wins.
Yeah, I did, but, you know, I'm not worried about it. I believe what you do during the week is going to help you win, not the color of the clothes.
Well, you've proven that time and again. Ricky, good luck in the main event.
Thanks a lot.
Checking out the results of our 2nd qualifying heat for the 250s as our shots from the pits indicate the mechanics working on the bikes between Ricky Carmichael, Roncada, Wyndham, and Voss qualifying. Kyle Lewis and others going to the LCQ. There's a new movie out. It opened yesterday. The Mummy Returns. So what does this movie have to do with Supercross? How about it, Robbie?
Can it get any more evil than this? I mean, the Mummy Returns. Sebastian Tortelli runs the number 13 plate. He's got the Mummy Mobile out here. This dude is looking vicious. All black. Can it get any more evil, Art, out there? I don't know. I don't think this little McGrath bear, this Pastrana bear, is going to have a chance. Not in my book. I mean, come on. You got to be kidding me. Sebastian's got to be hating it, though, right now. He has no luck whatsoever tonight.
He did come back very well after that first corner crash to qualify, and you got to hand it to him for fighting that hard. You know, Ricky Carmichael started his preparation for the season before the National Motocross season was completed last year. A heavy conditioning program led to wins at the Motocross Nations in the U.S. Open right here in Las Vegas. He was anxious to capture the lone remaining title that eluded him, but the sports icon Jeremy McGrath stood in his way.
He's a great rider. It's not, you know, it's not that he's just good mentally. He's a good rider, period. So that's why he's tough to beat, you know. I think Jeremy gets tired of the press making such a big deal out of me because, I don't know, I think Jeremy thinks I'm good, but he probably thinks I haven't proven myself yet in Supercross. If I was beating him, you know, he'd probably respect me a little more, but I think I need to beat him. if I don't win, I don't know how I didn't win, because I worked harder than anybody.
Those comments were back in December, David Bailey, when he was wearing orange.
And you know, at the time, I had interviewed McGrath almost at the same time on the opposite end of the country and asked him who he thought would be his toughest competitor, and he thought it would be Villeman. He knew Ricky would be fast and get some race wins here and there, but he just thought that if he just gave enough pressure to Ricky, that he would just self-destruct, make his own mistakes, like he always had in the past in the 250 class, each of those 2 years. But Ricky really surprised everybody, and like he said in that interview, he goes, I don't know how I could lose because I worked so hard, and I'm glad it paid off for him.
5 months later, Carmichael has the #1 plate in Supercross. Hard work, determination, it all paid off. We sat down with the new champion for his thoughts on this current season.
When I got that #1 plate, it felt like a big load off my back. It was really a good feeling, and you know, that's what I've been working for. I've got every title. I think every kid that races 250 Supercross, this is their goal, to win a 250 Supercross title, and I did it, and now it's all about the record books.
How did you win the thing?
I think, you know, the training in the off season and getting the bike right. The bike was a lot better this year for me, for sure, without a doubt. And I think, you know, the 2 combos and starting to win consecutively like I did, that's how I won it, and being mentally strong.
And I suppose it made it even better beating Jeremy before anything happened to Jeremy or he retired. What about beating Jeremy, the feeling?
Okay, well, you know, beating like earlier in the year when I was winning all these races wouldn't be awesome to win if I didn't win the title. It wouldn't mean nothing to me. And to beat Jeremy before he retires, you know, is awesome. That's the one thing I wanted to do, because everyone thinks that I'm the next guy after Jeremy leaves, and I don't want him to win, you know, and somebody say, well, Jeremy probably would have won it if he, you know, if he was racing. So now that's not the case anymore, and, you know, I'm happy to be the guy that, you know, could get the championship from him, and I put a lot of time in, and in the back of my mind, I knew I could do it. It was just a matter of when it was going to happen. I've won quite a few championships outdoor, and you know, I know what it takes, and I know you need to be consistent, and that's what I did.
The big crash could have ended the championship run, but you refused to let up in your style.
Yeah, it definitely could have put a damper on things, but, you know, I'm out there, I'm racing hard, and that's my riding style, and, you know, I was just trying to go fast, trying to get that fast heat race win, and heat race time, excuse me. And, you know, I was just out there riding hard, and I made a mistake and crashed. And like you said, it could have put a damper on things, but luckily it didn't. And I was able to win that night in the main event. Every time I do something like that, you know, what I did in the whoops there at Detroit and Houston, every time I make a mistake like that, I learn. That's just part of more learning process, you know. It took me 2 years of crashing and learning to get to where I am today, and every time I do something like that, it just helps me out more. I learn more. You know, when I crash like that, I say, I know what I did wrong, and I'm not going to let it happen again, and that's what I do. I learn from it and try not to let it happen.
You just pushed the bar higher.
I think I raised the level a little bit, and I think now that I beat Jeremy quite a few times this year, I think other guys are believing that they can beat him now, you know. He's a good champion, you know. He's not a jealous person, and I'm sure it's very tough for him this year. You know, but he's kicked everybody's butt for a long time, and everyone is, you know, I felt not good the last 2 years in Supercross, and, you know, I can only take so much of that. And I was willing to do whatever it took to get that feeling of winning back, and, you know, I'm just happy to be the guy that can do it, and you know, he's a great champion. He's handling it really well, and you know, he's being a good sport. Like somebody asked me yesterday, are you worried about the 13 race streak? And I told him, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and try to get the whole shot and see what happens. I haven't pressed the issue on anything this year. I let the race start and take it as the cards fall. If I'm behind, then try to work and pass people, you know, and that's the thing. I'm not going to go out there and try to ride crazy and try to win 13 races in a row. I'm going to get out there and try to get a good start and try to win. And if I can't, well, then I'll take second. But, you know, I don't want to. And like I said, I'm not going to force anything. I'm just going to let everything come to me.
Ricky Carmichael won at every level, including mini bikes. And the KTM Junior Supercross Challenge program has proved to be a huge success this year at every venue. 8-year-olds experiencing the thrill of a lifetime before sellout crowds like we have here in Las Vegas, riding the same tracks Carmichael, McGrath, Travis, and the rest of the pros do.
And here they come to the first triple. You think they got it? That must look so big for these. Look at how tiny these guys are. You don't realize, I mean, even the big bikes. I mean, if you get a chance to go down there and look at this track up close, you know, we're always up here in the press box, and it looks pretty easy. When you get down there on floor level and see how high the first jump of the triple is, you can't even see past it. All you see is the top of the stadium and off in the distance. It must just seem huge for these little guys, and they're getting close to the other triple and then the whoop section. That should be interesting.
This program is more than just an athletic event. You have to have good grades, good attendance in your school before they'll allow you to enter this event in various cities.
And here they go. Look at the balance it takes. Every time the front wheel goes down to the bottom of one of those and wants to turn, it takes a pretty strong kid to hold it straight. The kid in second there, number 10, feet down just in case.
Well, it's a real fan favorite. There's no question about it. Placing in this particular race is not emphasized, but of course, when the kids get out there battling, you can't help that competitive urge. Well,
you know what's neat is you cruise to the pits, they get the white flag, you cruise to the pits and you see them all lined up in their gear, their bikes all lined up, mechanics, and they're signing autographs.
The fans are actually standing up here in Las Vegas. Tickets have been sold from 50 states and 26 countries, as they really appreciate this particular KTM program. Let's go down to Davey Combs.
Well, one of the neat things about this program also, Art, is the fact that a lot of these kids are second-generation Supercross riders. We've been fortunate enough over the years to see Jeff Ward's son ride, California privateer Chris Young's son ride, and then Bobby J. Wagner and he and his wife Lisa, their little Bow-Out race. These are people who grew up racing Supercross. We've been talking about Ryan Hughes earlier. He told me that as soon as his pro career's done, he'll be right back because he's going to be a mini bike dad, and his son Evander is going to be racing this KTM Challenge.
I noticed there's a Mackenzie Bailey on the list, David. Any relation?
No, I saw my name in there, and I was a little bummed that it was pretty far down the list. No relation, but yeah, that's a good point. You know, Rick Johnson's kids, Jeff Ward's kids. My son just grew too fast. You know, he didn't really start riding until he was a little bit older anyway, but he went down and walked the track this afternoon, and I asked him about it. He just rolled his eyes like, I don't know. I might be able to do okay until we get to the whoop section. These guys are fast. Or kids, I should say.
Zachary Fussell from Las Vegas, Nevada takes the checkered flag.
Try to do a little style in there.
Look at the smiles on the fans' faces. And you can bet there's going to be a smile on number 11, Zachary's face, when he goes up to the podium. Well, that's really terrific here during the intermission time after the qualifying rounds of the 125 shootout as well as the 250. Let's go back in the pit area. I guess, Robbie Floyd, you're back there.
Yeah, I'm covering all my bases tonight, guys. Remember I told you about PaySupercross.com. You can find the new RC shirt. You better get them while they last, because that RC4 is going to turn into RC1 here before long. You know, that junior class we just saw out there, it wasn't too long ago when we saw Ricky Carmichael out there on the 60s and 50s and stuff. And I think he still has the same cutout seat he had back on the 60s and 80s. He's got the cut-down seat. Chad really dialed him up nice. But something also different is the sag. Normally on a bike, you have about 100 millimeters of sag. Ricky runs it totally different, probably about 120 or so. He's riding basically a chopper out there. It's what Ricky likes, kind of a happy medium out there, and it must be working for him. But, man, this has been one fast kid, guys, and you know it as well as I do. Ever since day one, he has been groomed to be a champion.
It's coming up this fall, EA Sports Supercross 2002 for Sony PlayStation 2. It's high-flying moto at altitude. And it's the Cyberscan Riders. This is really wild to witness. It is so real. Stunning graphics. You can see the whites of the riders' eyes. You want tons of Supercross, motocross, and freestyle? You'll get it with EA Sports Supercross 2002. Race a championship track or thrash your neighbor's yard. Real riders, Dynamite announcers, I might include, David Bailey.
Yeah, we went through the same process. That was pretty fun. And the graphics since the first game have improved so much. The kind of tracks, the handling of them. I didn't really like to play them that much because it was so difficult to just stay on the track. But now everything works much better, and it really looks like you're doing it.
EA Sports Supercross 2002 coming this fall. Well, very few surprises, with the exception of Grant Langston in the 125 qualifying heat, taking that one. Ernesto Fonseca having trouble. It's been feast or famine, but more feast than famine for Ernesto, really.
Well, he gets the #1 plate. I know he's frustrated. And, you know, you look at the way he struggled through that heat race. He's obviously got the talent to win, but remember Nathan Ramsey a couple of years ago. I mean, it wasn't until the very last lap of the last chance qualifier, which is what we're going to see next there on the starting line. Ramsey wasn't in position. A couple of guys fell right in front of him. That's how he made it into the main event. Then he won it all.
Get a head start on your next ticket order. Log on to Ticketmaster.com and sign up for My Account and Express Ordering. While you're there, check out the Deal of the Week for great ticket offers in cities all over the United States. My Account and Deal of the Week exclusively through Ticketmaster.com. So the capacity crowd here at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, anticipating another action-packed qualifying heat as we get ready for the 125 last chance qualifier. And it's kind of interesting, really, that Ivan Tedesco from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Plano Honda, is in this one along with Ben Riddle, Team Suzuki. So we've got some real talent. Johnny Marley has been in several main events this year, along with Justin Bucklew, who started off like a rocket in the season. He was #1 in points for the first 3 rounds. There you see Justin right there, getting set for the last chance qualifier. The 32nd board is up. Number 88 is Riddle. 531 is Boniface. He's out of France and riding for Amsoil Dr. Martin's Honda. Matt Walker, also very good starter in this particular race. Look for him. Isaiah Johnson. He's logged many hours on the bike as well.
This looks more like a heat race than a last chance qualifier. Sign is sideways.
And the last chance qualifier from Las Vegas for the 125 shootout is underway. 4 will qualify.
Johnny Marley going down before they even got to the first turn.
Michael Kahn actually got the whole shot. But whoa, another pile up in the second turn.
And that's number 88, Ben Riddle, Team Suzuki.
And Michael Kahn, 172.
Tedesco getting hung up in the first turn pile up right after Marley went down. Everybody's up and okay. It looked like Marley got run right over. He's up walking back to his bike.
Olaf is our leader, number 64. He's out of the state of Ohio on a Yamaha. Well, look at this. Here comes Boniface. Boniface 531. A battle in the whoops for the last chance qualifier.
He had a good run, but the whole deal is that whoop section is one mistake through there. You hit one of those bumps wrong and it ruins all your momentum. That's what happened to him. Good pass though to the inside. Just catches Olaf drifting a little bit too wide.
Olaf, Boniface, Bucklew in third, Tedesco. But it is Gio Tedesco, the younger brother of Ivan, who's in fourth. Ivan Tedesco all the way in eighth has got a long way to go to qualify. Boy, what a disappointment that would be after a second place finish last week.
There's Bucklew trying to work his way up. He's the kind of rider that can win this race. Third will not be good enough. That'll put him in the main event. I'm talking about him working up because this is not going to sit well with him. It'll be a lousy pick at the gate. He's got a good run through the whoops. And he's to the inside. That's an easy pass.
Bucklew making the pass in the second place. Olaf is the next target.
Watch the timing of Bucklew right here.
I should say Boniface. Boniface and Bucklew, 1 and 2. Olaf now in third, Molly in fourth. Hoffmaster is on the bubble.
Earlier today and then in the heat race, Bucklew was able to jump through that section, triple 2 or 3 times through there, and I never saw Boniface do that. Boniface is aggressive everywhere else, but I think that's Bucklew's ace. Maybe the whoops too. That's coming up after this triple.
Here comes Buckaloo. Taking a different route on the triple. There's Olaf, 64. Boniface, 531, having just a little trouble. Better speed for Buckaloo. Buckaloo to the inside. Boniface slips the block pass. White flag. Final lap coming up. Good battle here in the LCQ.
Well, Buckaloo tried to just slow down enough in that corner so Boniface couldn't do what he did, but that was a great move to square back underneath him. And I thought Buckaloo was going to try and triple through here. That would have been a golden opportunity to pass him back to the lead. Now he's got to rely on that loop section again, and I think Boniface is going to be ready for that.
Great shot of the height they get on that triple. Buckaloo with 3 podiums, including a win at San Diego in the first 3 races. Had 7 hole shots in a row if you count the qualifying and main events, but then he hit a 4-race slump.
Look at the talent he has to be able to double that through the sand pit there on a 125. Not all the 250s were doing it. This is his last shot.
Buckaloo did not get into the whoops fast, but Boniface trips a little bit. Here comes Buckaloo. Buckaloo, yes, he gets a good slingshot effect, and Buckaloo will win the last chance qualifier.
That's a good ride. That makes you feel good. You go back to the pits, you look at your lap times, he went 53.1. That's pretty quick.
Well, he was probably pretty disappointed because he got a 3rd place podium spot last week in Salt Lake City and looked like things were coming back. Buckaloo now qualifies for the main event. Real rough start, though, Dave. Let's take another look now at the 125 last chance qualifier start.
I'm not sure what to focus on first, but Johnny Marley clips somebody right back there. Goes down. It looks like he gets run right over. Good thing he's wearing a helmet.
And then the log jam in the corner.
But the amazing thing is he got right up from that and went out and kept riding that heat race. You see Ben Riddle right here. He gets collected. Can't tell who that is. They just go right off over the berm, so that's pretty much it. Buckaloo getting on the brakes, just missing that. If he'd have gotten stuck there on a handlebar or a foot peg, he wouldn't have had his chance to win that one.
Well, Riddle failed to qualify, finishing in 6th, but take a look at the Supercross final results. Justin Buckaloo, Steve Boniface, Olaf, Marley. Those are the ones that go to the main event. The Tedesco brothers have to go home. Let's go down to Robbie Floyd. Robbie?
Guys, I'm down here with Ken Hudgens, Vice President of Marketing for SFX Motorsports. And Ken, everybody loves coming to Vegas for the final round of the Supercross.
Robbie, Supercross is truly the destination of, it's unbelievable. We've sold tickets in all 50 states, 26 countries. The economic impact to the city of Las Vegas is over $38 million. It's truly an unbelievable thing.
And they can also see it live here in the month of October, the 12th through 14th, at the MGM Grand, the U.S. Open. I know I'm going.
And joining us here in the broadcast booth, Robbie, a guy who's won that U.S. Open 500 grand. We won't ask you how you spent it, Jeff Emig, but what a great win that was, and it's exciting that the fact we're looking forward to it already, and it's October when the race is held. Little trouble with the microphone there, Jeff. This is live television. 30-second warning is up. As we're looking forward to the first semifinal with Jason McCormick, Tim Ferry, number 15, right there on the 4-stroke. He took a 2nd place last week in Salt Lake City. Pedro Gonzalez, Damon Huffman, well-known names lining up for the semifinal. Jason Thomas, an Ironman last year, also battling it out here in the first semifinal round. The 30-second board is sideways as Jeff Emig joins us, and they're off and running. The top 5 will qualify out of this heat. And it's Jason McCormick now moving back to 2nd place as Brian Mason out of Columbia, Illinois is our leader.
Jason McCormick with another good start last week in Salt Lake, won the 250 semi, so he's getting the feeling of it.
He moves back to 3rd now. It's Pedro Gonzalez out of Monterrey, Mexico, who's just coming off the Arena Cross Series where he placed 3rd. He kind of found his niche in the Arena Cross, Jeff Emig, and of course, Supercross isn't for everybody. Arena Cross, though, is. Take Buddy Antunez, for instance.
Yeah, that's have a lot of the guys. Vinny Stevenson, Buddy Antunez, Willow, but Pedro Gonzalez on the St. Louis Power Sports Kawasaki taking the lead here.
And here's Jason McCormick coming to the inside from Vancouver, Washington.
Yeah, but he's like, hey, I want to go race Supercross. The Arena Cross Championship is over. Let me go race Supercross. So St. Louis Power Sports is supporting me for this effort also.
Jason McCormick, Pedro Gonzalez, 1 and 2.
I think McCormick's getting a little bit of confidence going through the semi races.
Mason in third with Tim Ferry in fourth. The top 5 graduate to the main event. Pavoni is in the 5th spot with Hoffmeister on the bubble and Damon Humphrey, who's won a race here before in the 125s, is in 7th.
And a former 250 main event winner, Damon.
That's right.
1997, Atlanta Supercross, actually.
Unfortunately, he broke his leg in practice the next week and couldn't take advantage of the momentum.
Yeah, definitely. Me and Huffman were teammates on Factory Kawasaki, and he put in a really great ride. Won that race, and I was second. That was kind of one of them ones where I thought that I should have had it, but nonetheless, Damon was in the record books for an excellent ride.
Jeff, you gave owning a team a little run this year, but there's some disappointing moments. You're hoping to straighten that out.
Well, yeah, definitely. We're going to work hard over the summer and get Strategic 3 a new title sponsor and take it to the next level. Once again, we kind of got a taste of what running a race team's all about. Figured out, hey, it's a lot of work, but you do need it financially to do it. But I love being involved in Supercross and certainly my partners, Tim Dixon and Tony Strangio, so we're going after it.
Well, it sounds like you're excited about it, Jeff, and that's great. Here's Jason McCormick looking back to see what's happening, and it's Tim Ferry on the Yamaha 4-stroke. Look out, Tim had such a great race in Salt Lake City last week. Through the whoops they go. McCormick holding on. McCormick will go under knee surgery at the end of this season. He's riding hurt halfway through the semifinal round.
Now, the race that Timmy Ferry had last week in Salt Lake was excellent. He led at one point, battling with Carmichael, Wyndham, McGrath, and once again, historically, the Yamaha 4-stroke has been really good here at the Las Vegas track. Maybe it's because it's dry and slick. Also, Timmy Ferry seems to be working really hard and really getting adjusted to the 426 after a full season.
Jason McCormick, a true privateer. Tim Ferry, of course, Team Yamaha. They go bar to bar for a while. Ferry on the inside. He's got good acceleration and good stick-to-itiveness to this track with that 4-stroke. As they come over even, McCormick coming back. Great race here with a semifinal round.
Those guys were going for it. I think they went through 2 or 3 corners, bar to bar, as you say. Some exciting racing.
So Tim Ferry now takes over first place here in the semifinal. Probably what we would have expected before the gate dropped.
Yeah, well, definitely. Like I said, Timmy really seems to be he's finding his own on this bike, and his ride at Salt Lake was just so strong. It was unfortunate he went down, close to having the whole shot in the heat race. Now he's in the semi, working through, passing guys, and what he's also doing is he's finding lines. And once again, he'll be strong in that main event because that confidence from last week will definitely carry over.
And Jason McCormick, being a privateer, looks like he's going to get a good paycheck as he's in second place, holding down the fourth. But Pedro Gonzalez in third now, Pavoni in fourth.
Yeah, so now at this point, McCormick's going, okay, Ferry went by. I need to settle into a nice second place and get the number 48 Suzuki in the main event. Main event pays money, semi doesn't.
Pavoni and Gonzalez are pretty close to one another behind number 48 on the Suzuki, McCormick. And we see the white flag. Significant because it's now the final lap. McCormick, as we mentioned earlier, Jeff, boy, he took the toughest altitude race in the book, Salt Lake City, to qualify for both the 125 and 250 last week.
Yeah, definitely. If your lungs aren't working hard, at a normal race, you get up to, 8,000 feet, and decided that he wants to ride both of them. So maybe the Ironman Award for that event can be McCormick.
The Iron Lung Award.
Yeah, Iron Lung. He really did have an excellent ride last week.
Tim Ferry to the cheers of these great fans here at Las Vegas. He sees the finish line. He sees the checkers. Tim Ferry takes the checkers for the semifinal victory.
And we've seen his mechanic working the stopwatch. So that tells me that he's looking for fast times. He wants to know what those times were, even though he had to ride the semi event. What are my times compared to the guys that won the heat races?
So Tim Ferry now makes his way up to the podium. Davey Combs is on his way there. The helmet off for Tim. Let's go to Davey now.
Well, Tim, your night started out pretty tough over there in that first turn, but way to rebound the semi.
Yeah, that was a lot better, It's nice to get a little wind under the belt. The Yamaha 4-stroke was running real good, and to tell you the truth, I thought I had that first hole shot. I just came in a little hot. They watered the track a little bit. It was a really slippery first corner.
A lot of people are talking about the new Honda, but you're the 4-stroke out here. It's been here all year. Can you become the second rider ever to win one of these Supercrosses on a 4-stroke tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to. I remember back when Henry won it, you know, like I think it was 97 or so, and hey, I'd love to put the Yamaha 4-stroke up here for a win. You know, I'm just looking to get on the podium, run a good, strong race like I did last weekend, put some pressure on Carmichael. It'll be cool.
Exactly. If you run like you did in Salt Lake, Tim, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you know, I got the bike to get the good start, so we'll see what happens in the main.
So Tim Ferry puts the capper on the semifinal. McCormick second, Gonzalez third, Pavolny and Hoffmaster. They will go on to the main event. The rest on to the last chance qualifier. Let's check in with Robbie Floyd.
Guys, I'm down here with Ernesto Fonseca. That 1 W on your back, a lot of pressure, buddy. Same thing as last year. You went down in your heat race, but you had probably one of the best races I've ever seen you last year. You battled with Travis the whole time. Is it going to be another replay?
Well, I think so. You know, I feel really good. My Yamaha YZ250F is working great, and I just need to get a little better start, maybe go inside a little more and try to hug the inside there. I think I got pushed out to the outside a little bit, but I feel great. I actually I turned the fastest lap time out of everybody, so I got a lot of confidence going, and I'm ready for it.
Got a lot of teammates out there, Buck, Lou, Ramsey, Wade. Did you talk back here in the pits?
Yeah, we were kind of, you know, discussing everything, and I think we just got to get a better start, and we'll be okay.
Any team strategy, maybe?
No, not really. I think we're just going to go out there and try our best, all of us, and I think it's going to be tough. Travis might have his hands full, and he was making a couple mistakes here and there, but you know, that's racing. I made some mistakes too. I crashed, and I think we just need to settle down a little bit and you know, put our head together and go try our best.
The big battle, East versus West, the Dave Coombs Senior Shootout. Good luck out there, Eddie. I know you want this one.
Yeah, that's right. I feel great, and I'm ready for it.
Thanks a lot, Robbie. Sitting next to me, Jeff Emmy. He knows how exciting the U.S. Open is right here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. It's coming up again, October 12th, 13th, and 14th. Tickets available now through Ticketmaster. Getting set for the second semifinal round, we've got Kyle Lewis, number 24. The 32nd board is up. Michael Byrne, who was Jeff Emming's rider before the team went down. Jeff Emming helping him stay on as a privateer, number 990. As you see, Morgan and also Long. Michael Craig, John Sebastian Waugh, Travis Hodges, Robbie Skaggs, names that will be familiar to fans as we're off and running now for our second semifinal.
And Michael Byrne with the whole shot. It's nice to see the Pro Circuit KX250 taking the lead there.
And John Sebastian Waugh, the Blackfoot Honda, right after the whole shot, takes over the lead. Waugh moving out to a nice advantage, but give me a little insight now. You're the one that brought Byrne from Australia, and he's really a terrific kid, isn't he, Jeff?
Yeah, definitely. 21 years old, a lot of enthusiasm. Kind of up here on his own, though, you know, as far as not having family around and whatnot. But I think that he's put in an excellent effort this year. He's ninth in points going into this final round, and his first ever attempt at 250 Supercross. I think that Michael's done an excellent job.
There's Michael Byrne, 990. A great constitution as he traveled from his homeland, Australia, suffered a big disappointment, and still right there in the top 10 in points. I think he's ninth in 250 points right now.
And we talked about that when the sponsorship with the team went like it did. I said, hey, look, we got to get serious about racing. Let's don't worry about the big rig. Let's don't worry about sponsorship and money and all that. Let's go get that top 10 in points, because that was our goal strategically. And Michael Byrne, when we sat down before the season, the goal is to get top 10, and he's on his way.
Right now, it's back and forth we go with John Sebastian Waugh and Michael Byrne. Byrne currently holding the edge here in the semifinal round. Nice move by Byrne and good pressure by Waugh.
And we got Lewis coming up there behind him. Lewis. These guys in the semis, these guys have been right together all year.
Waugh bobbles in the whoops. Kyle Lewis takes advantage of it.
I used to race against Lewis.
He won back on 80s. He was the youngest ever to win the 125 Supercross race.
Just a couple days after 16, I would imagine.
Now he's got a gray beard.
Yeah, definitely. Kyle, like I said, Kyle's my age, and out there, been to Japan and back, winning championships there, and coming back riding strong in Supercross this year. I think that he's looked great all year on the Motor Triple X team.
As these riders lengthen out and separate, to Jeff, there's a question I want to ask you before you have to leave us, and that is, you have such great championships under your belt. The 125 outdoors, the 250 outdoors. You swept the season with a 250 Supercross and a 250 outdoors one year. But you know, you will forever be known as the guy that broke Jeremy McGrath's win streak that year at 13, winning in St. Louis. But the one I like to remember is the race before McGrath started that streak. It was right here in Las Vegas. You were on a Yamaha. The lights went out. Some riders decided, hey, it's not safe to run. You said, hey, Mr. McCarty, I'll go out there and run, and you won your first Supercross race right here.
Yeah, it really was an awesome night for me, getting my first Supercross win. And at the time, we were riding a lot of night tracks for practice. And of course, growing up in Kansas City as a young motocrosser, I mean, there were plenty of tracks where the lighting was bad. And I sat down with Keith McCarty, my team manager, on a team Yamaha, and he said, hey, look, have you been training all week to win this race? And I said, yep. He said, then there's no reason that you shouldn't go racing. He says, if you feel safe, let's do it. And we went out, got into record books, and made a big bag full of money that night to boot. So it was
well, it opened the door. It opened the door for you to feel confident, too, in other races where everybody was in the race.
It took me a long time to really believe that I could win 250 Supercross. I would watch the guys on videotape, McGrath and Kudrowski, LaRock, all these guys back in the days, and they were just so awesome. And when I see myself, I didn't see the same, I don't know, something. But then once I won that race, it's like, okay, it's on. And then I really struggled through 96 getting the win, because when we went to St. Louis, man, that was awesome, stopping Jeremy's win streak.
And in 97, championship in both the outdoor and indoor. Kyle Lewis in second place behind Byrne, but look at Kyle Lewis. He wants the checkered flag. Byrne 990 holding on, and Lewis having a little trouble right there.
So that's a nasty whoop section, I tell you. It's getting a little bit skatey now that it's getting dry and the guys are sliding around. And when you're going through the whoops, the bike's in third gear most of the time, and the rear wheel's spinning so fast. So when you hit any little edge, it'll throw the bike sideways here and there. And of course, that's what was happening to Lewis.
Well, Jeff, you look in such good shape. You're going to make a comeback one of these days?
The million-dollar question. The fans and
stuff. If it's worth $1 million, I'd come back.
Yeah, definitely. That might be what it takes. But no, physically, I'm lucky to be in the shape that I'm in. I'd love nothing more than to get to go race a Supercross or a motocross again, but it's just not going to happen. So I'm happy doing what I'm doing and contributing to the sport of Supercross, and hopefully I can give you guys a guy like Michael Byrne that can take my place someday.
Oh, that's great. Michael Byrne headed toward the finish line now. The checkers are waving, and it's got to be a nice thrill for this young man to be able to go directly to the main event now out of the semifinal round after seeing that checkered flag.
It's kind of crazy seeing the Emig Racing on his radio shop, but hey, that's the way that it's going right now.
Thanks a lot, Jeff Emig, for joining us through the semifinal rounds, and best of luck in forming that new team again.
And I must say, it's quite an honor to be up here with Art and David in the announcers booth. I listen to you guys and have a lot of respect for what you do. So all the fans, hope you enjoy these main events.
Let's get out to Davey Coombs.
Well, Mike, your coach, manager, owner, whatever, Jeff Emig was just up there watching that race, and he was very impressed by the way you rode. Not bad.
Yeah, that one was a lot better than the heat race. I relaxed a little bit more and got a bit more comfortable, and my car cycle got out to a great start again, and I just tried to ride my own race.
It looked like the track's really slippy out there tonight, very hard packed. Do you have tracks like this when you're growing up in Australia?
We have hard tracks, but not hard Supercross tracks, Everything's usually this horse, pretty limey and stuff, but this one's tough.
Good luck in the main, Mike.
Thanks a lot.
Checking out the results now in our semifinal round with Michael Byrne the winner, and it was Kyle Lewis holding on to second place along with Jean-Sebastian Waugh. Also qualifying Michael Craig, who has a Supercross win years ago in Tampa. Travis Hodges, he'll have to go to the last chance qualifier amongst the other riders who didn't get into the top four. Jeremy McGrath controlled the fortunes of this sport for some time. 7 championships in 8 years. It didn't happen this year, though. The last time Jeremy McGrath had lost an EA Sports championship was back in 1997. He sat down with the 7-time champion, we did, to hear his thoughts on the season.
I was. I mean, I think going into the season, I had done everything that I've done before. I trained, and I trained hard, and I rode a lot, and I tested a lot. And, yeah, I definitely was caught off guard.
When did it all of a sudden dawn on you that you had a fight on your hands?
Well, it didn't take too long for it to dawn on me. I would say, you know, the first race was a bad example of what was to come. And the second race was San Diego, and that was it. I mean, right then I knew, you know, you could tell that Ricky had grown up a little bit and kind of went through the growing pains, and he was ready to challenge them. It really was apparent to me after, you know, some of the stuff at Anaheim and San Diego. I mean, he's really accustomed to riding on the edge, you know. And I mean, for me, I'm not like that. I guess over the last 10 years, you know, I've really had to ride about 85, 90% to win all the races that I have. And now you have a guy who's really not only doing it, but not scared to do it, is push the limits. And, you know, he was getting away with murder there for a while, and it seems like now he's a little more calm. But I think that's just a confidence thing.
Anaheim 3, was that kind of a turning point when he came from 9th place, I think it was?
Yeah, I think it wasn't really a turning point, but obviously it reconfirmed the thoughts of him being up front all the time. I think there's no doubt in my mind that, you know, I look back and I go, man, there's no way I shouldn't have won that race. I think I got messed up by a few lappers at the time, and I made my own mistake by not jumping the triple at one lap when I jumped too far into the face of it. Some uncharacteristic things happened to me there, and, you know, there's no doubt I should have won the race. He rode an incredible race, and, you know, I know what that feels like too, so I'd say it was a little bit of a reassuring that he was going to be there the whole time. I think I was in good shape. I think my bike was good. I think everything's been pretty routine, but it just kind of came out of nowhere, you know.
Was building a new team and getting all that started a distraction? I mean, back when you went to Suzuki, it happened so late, but you had some preparation time here, but still, there's a lot of details to take care of.
I think for sure, you know, at first when you start doing all this stuff and you're making the decisions to start a new team, and, you know, it's big decisions, and you think, oh, I can handle it all, and, you know, I think a lot of that did kind of boil down about halfway through the season. You know, there's a lot of things, and, you know, I know that I have a lot more to do and a lot more projects going than any other rider out there, and I put that on myself. You know, those are the decisions I made to further myself and the team. You know, we have some great team sponsors, Mazda, you know, Hot Wheels, and Yamaha. We have a very successful thing going here, and I think, you know, with all those things kind of piling on, and I think halfway through the season it was kind of a little bit stressful. I think took my focus away a little bit. I mean, I was still able to focus, but I think that it was some pressure.
The mental game, you have been a master of it for years. You had guys running for second place for how many years? You know, 8, 9, 10 years, and they had to become satisfied with second place. But when did Ricky get into your head? When did he make you start thinking, like when you started thinking a little bit about Emig back in the old days?
Well, I never thought about Emig like I think about Ricky, because I think Ricky is just faster, you know. Jeff was more of a methodical kind of guy, you know. He'd try and use the head game and get good starts, but I think Ricky's, you know, he's an awesome rider, and he wants to win. That's one thing about him. He wants to win more than anything. And I don't know, I would say Anaheim 3 was probably the time when he came from behind, and, you know, I know how that feels. I've done that, and, you know, it's funny. For such a long time I've won, you know, and I forgot what that feeling was like when like the first Supercross I won in Anaheim, when I passed Jeff Stanton and pulled away from him, you know. That was an amazing feeling, and when you get a rush like that, it's hard to slow you down. So, I mean, I'm working and doing everything I can do to stop this kid, but it's not happening right now. So I think I would prefer to, you know, everything stop, regroup, and start again.
RC's win streak. How do you stop it?
Well, I think, I don't know. I would like to think that I can stop him, but he's on a roll right now, so it's going to take a pretty good beat to stop him. I mean, I think I can. Last week's race, I don't think I had too good of a race, but I mean, I'm still into it. I still want to go out there and do my best, and of course I want to stop him. You know, I want to keep that record alone for myself for a while. I don't know how you do it. You got to get a start, each control shot.
The shots we've had after the race, you've been very graceful in defeat. Let's face it, you have not been a Bob Hanna type or a Jeff Stanton type who would huff and puff back to the trailer. But inside, how have you dealt with this? Because you are used to winning all the time.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard, you know. I'm in a difficult position. I've always won forever. And this is definitely, you know, it's different for me. I mean, like, I burn inside, but, you know, I mean, I'm very, I can't forget that I'm normal, too, you know. I mean, that's my attitude. I'm not going to go cry about what's happened or, you know, of course I get a little upset about things, but, you know, I don't have a bad attitude, and, you know, man, that's just me. I'm as gracious when I win as when I lose, you know, and I think after getting beat so much this season, it kind of gives me a sense of normality, you know. For a long time, you know, winning, I've been winning, it's really become normal to me. And, you know, everyone forgets, and I even forgot that winning is pretty much a luxury, you know. It's not supposed to happen all the time. And it's been happening for 10 years, so, you know, I'm not... Of course, there's a part of me that's like, you know, this is not good, but, you know, I've had my share. I think it's going to give me a little bit of a challenge, a little bit more of a self-motivation challenge for next week. You talk about someone who's not so gracious in defeat. Look at Damon Bradshaw. You know, he was winning that Supercross title that year and lost to Jeff Stanton at the LA Coliseum. That ruined him. He ate, you know, that ate at him so bad he retired. You know, and I've had more success than I ever imagined and ever dreamed, and you know, I can't complain at all. And I'm second in points. I mean, it's funny how people talk about it. It's like I'm not even there just because I'm not winning anymore. It's like I didn't qualify for the race, you know. So it's a little bit hard, but I just worry about what I'm doing and not worry about what everyone else is saying, and I think that's important. You know, I worry about myself, worry about my friends around me, and what everyone else thinks about me. In the long run, it really doesn't matter. I'm definitely going to come back next year. I don't, you know, I want to ensure the success of the team. We're trying to expand a little bit. We've had meetings with Yamaha trying to figure out what riders we're going to get. You know, I may be able to draw a salary from Yamaha, but nowhere near what I'm making if I'm riding. So, you know, plus, I don't want to go out like this. I want to give it one more shot. You know, when I was younger, I thought, oh, I'd be done by 26, but now I'm 29, and I'll be 30 for next season. So I don't think the age thing is so much of a factor. I mean, I want to work my butt off and try and beat Ricky next year, because obviously he's the man to beat now.
A man who deserves the time, 72 wins, 7 championships, Jeremy McGrath, as our last chance qualifier for the 250s gets underway. You know, Jeremy McGrath, he became a celebrity. He took this sport to a new level, David Bailey, so that these young men competing here in the last chance qualifier really have a financial future.
They do, absolutely. That's a good point. And, you know, you hear rumors about the offers that are on the table for Ricky Carmichael, and you know, they're talking figures like $5 million. And, you know, obviously that's going to be a multi-year deal, but that's the biggest contract I've ever heard about. And, you know, Carmichael doesn't have like a whole bunch of riders to thank for that. He has one guy to thank for that, and that's Jeremy McGrath. And, you know, Jeremy has all of his ducks in a row now with the team. He understands, okay, well, you know, I didn't expect Carmichael to be so strong, but now that I know how this team works, what kind of time it's going to take, you know, if he can get in good enough shape, I think that's really the question, his desire and his physical fitness for next year. And if he can tune that up, he'll be a threat for Carmichael.
Morgan is our leader here in the last chance qualifier, number 734. Damon Huffman is in second, and Jason Thomas in third.